2. Azure Moon. Garland Moon. The Golden Deer's plea. The Kingdom Army has reclaimed the Kingdom capital and plans to immediately begin restoring the country and its forces. But an unexpected request arrives from Claude, leader of the Leicester Alliance. Dimitri promptly responds to the request for aid, and he rushes to prepare the Kingdom's forces.
We have received a request for aid from the Alliance. They are being invaded by the Empire. We have only just taken back Ferdia, and yet I am already asking all of you to move out once more. Please accept my apologies for that.
That's no problem at all. More importantly, how is the Alliance faring?
House Regan has rallied the Alliance lords. They are facing the enemy with all the strength they can muster. We do not know how far that will get them. It seems the enemy's relentless attacks have forced them into a tough situation. Their defeat at Gronder severely weakened the Alliance. I imagine the Empire now intends to destroy them before they can recover.
To think they'd watch us chase their soldiers out of the Kingdom capital, then immediately go invade the Alliance. Their general is Lord Volkard von Arundel. He serves as regent to the Emperor. He has presumably taken command after the Emperor was wounded in Gronder.
He is known for his shrewdness and excels not only in domestic affairs, but tactics as well. He is not an opponent we should take lightly. Lord Arundel. I always suspected that Lord Arundel was behind the tragedy 9 years ago. The timing of his departure from the Kingdom, the fact that he abruptly stopped making donations, too many factors made him suspect. If Lord Arundel conspired with Cornelia, then what Kranya and the others said 5 years ago? Well, never mind that for now. The Alliance needs our help. What are your thoughts?
If we turn our back on the Alliance, and then Deirdre falls, it will undoubtedly make our situation difficult further down the road. We would have enemies in two directions, in the Alliance to the northeast, and in the Empire to the south.
It is true. In that scenario, we would not be able to safely march our soldiers to Enbar.
I'm terribly worried about Lady Rhea, but I believe we must save the Alliance first. Oh, maybe if we do this, the Alliance will help us out in return. We could ask them to help us attack the Empire. You know, a sneak attack or something.
Annie, when did you become so devious?
What do you think, Professor?
We must go to Deirdre. I will admit that there is something to be gained for us as well, for when we eventually march south. Far more importantly, they need us. We cannot turn our backs on them. We will arrange to head out at once. Prepare yourselves, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, the very same night we liberated the capital, a messenger arrived from Deirdre. Claude must have predicted that we'd retake it. Claude's a hard person to read. It's obvious not much escapes his eye, though. Kind of fun.
Professor!
Let's see. Oh, so war finally comes to the Alliance territories. I don't mean that there's never been fighting on Alliance soil, of course. There have been countless skirmishes between neighboring lords, as well as conflicts. This is an invasion by an army of the Empire. It's a whole different animal. I don't want to see my family get dragged into this. I hope we...
Hey, you.
I have been wondering something. If I had not been your student, where would I be right now? Do you ever think about that sort of thing, Professor? Ah, so you do think about such questions. You cannot turn back time. So there is no way to go back and try a different path.
Guess this doesn't end with liberating the kingdom capital. Deirdre is next. That prince really works his people hard, doesn't he? Or should I be calling him a king now? Whatever the title is, he'll always be Dimitri to me.
That's right. Didn't they used to call Claude the Master Tactician? I want a nickname too. Maybe I'll get one if I can rescue him at Deirdre. I'll come up with a plan that's even better than his and earn a nickname for sure.
I'm glad Dimitri and Claude don't have to fight one another. I am the daughter of an Alliance Lord, though, so I suppose that goes without saying. Having to fight with your former classmates is just so terribly sad.
Oh,
If you travel east from the Alliance and cross Fogland's Throat, you enter the land of Almyra. House Goneril's territory touches the eastern border of the Alliance. They also have Lord Holst, the most valiant warrior in the Alliance. Tasked with keeping watch over the Almyrans' movements, he rarely leaves Goneril territory.
the Alliance leader is too demanding and the prince is too soft-hearted, don't you think? They spilled much of each other's blood at Grondar. I lost a lot of friends to the Alliance. Sorry, I shouldn't complain. I know this is tactically sound. Everyone seems on board with it, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any misgivings.
Professor! It'll take a little while yet for the capital to be restored to its former glory, but it's not dead yet. Doesn't matter how many times you put the people of Ferdiad down. They'll get right back up again. Just you watch. Before long, things will be back to how they were.
I went to visit my adoptive father at his home in the capital. He used to grovel at Cornelia's feet when the city was under her control. But after it was liberated, he started courting the kingdom instead. I suppose he was just doing what he needed to survive. No matter what becomes of the world, it'll always be plagued by people like him.
Deirdre, huh? I've always wanted to go there. In Fargus, most of the towns are pretty much glorified fortresses. So, to hear about a place called the Aquatic Capital, it just sounds so elegant. When the war's over, I hope I can visit with everyone there.
He always was sharp among his peers. Never let himself get caught up in conventions. I'd like to save him if we can. You may be right.
A hungry hero is no better than a well-fed soldier. Do you know that saying? No? That's because I just made it up. If you're hungry, you're never going to be at full strength. Keep your belly full and stay strong. How's this? I am being told you can see the sea from Deirdre. Not just see, that it is right there in front of you. In Bridget, the sea has great closeness. I would be looking at it every day. But in Garreg Mach, we cannot look at the sea. So I am feeling drawn to Deirdre. Yes, I think the sea has much beauty, but can also be frightening. Claude. Which one was he again? Oh, right. Yeah, of course I remember him. It's just, I can't picture his face. Don't remember what he looks like. I'm not sure if I ever knew.
Professor? Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Deirdre is known as the aquatic capital. It's a beautiful town with streets that seem to float on the water and an impressive harbor. In times of peace, it would be a wonderful place for a holiday.
That reminds me. We took Ferdiad back, but I never found the time to go shopping there. When the war's over and the city is revitalized, I'd like to visit again. Will you come with me, Professor? Really? Oh, I'm so glad. Although, I suppose we have bigger things on our plate, like Claude. He's in big trouble. I bet my family is too. We have to help them, Professor. I know we can't lose with you on our side.
We're gonna go help Claude? I haven't seen him in forever. Wonder how he's been. I chose this side because I believe in you, Professor. But it's not like I got anything against Claude. Of course! Claude was the kind of person who would be instantly friends with anyone. I got no clue what'll happen to the Alliance, but I sure hope Claude doesn't die.
Man,
Let's see. It was over 20 years ago. There was an illness raging across Ferdia, while people were dying left and right. It was Cornelia who saved the kingdom from that dreadful illness. Neither can I. By the time I was old enough to understand, that time had already passed. People praised Cornelia as a saint for ending the epidemic. But there came a day when she completely changed. Her behavior, mannerisms, likes, dislikes, everything. Despite all that, Father still appointed her to a high post. But above all, my stepmother trusted her. That's why what that woman said is... Never mind.
Lord Rodrigue Fraldarius has passed on. Margrave Gautier has assumed his position and is now gathering the lords of the Eastern Territories. House Gautier is equal in prestige to House Fraldarius, Sylvain, these lords are reorganizing the Fargus army and eradicating any remaining factions that claim allegiance to the Empire. Of course, His Highness is being kept apprised with regular reports. But it falls to me to monitor him and ensure he does not try to take on too much. I would ask you to do the same. If you take your eyes off that man, even for a moment, he is liable to do something rash.
What
What about Deirdre, the aquatic capital? If we're going, I wish it wasn't to wage war. It'd be more fun to visit with a cute girl on my arm. You're right. That's something to look forward to.
Right.
I was getting excited for our big Empire showdown. I spent so much time mentally preparing. Then we shifted focus to Deirdre. But, as a knight who's sworn to serve the goddess, I cannot turn a blind ear to those who seek my aid.
We're still searching for Lady Rhea. No news on that, I'm afraid. Lord Arundel, the Emperor's uncle, is the regent of the Empire. If we crush them at Deirdre, maybe we'll capture him and wring some clues out of him.
You know, really. Well, no.
So, listen.
I heard that Deirdre is under attack. I hope Judith is all right. She may be the hero of Daphne, but facing the might of the Empire, I wish there was something more I could do.
Pardon me.
Incredible. Dimitri is going to Claude's aid. How great is that? It's like we've gone back to how things were 5 years ago. It's so nice. Just imagine if 80 was there too. I suppose you can't ever really go back to the way things were in the past.
Need something? See you again soon.
Considered traveling to the Empire, to the Kingdom, and then off to Alliance territory? Everyone certainly is busy. Perhaps it's not a bad thing now that I think about it. Peace will be lovely. Peace will, one assumes, be considerably less perilous.
Even if we do enter Alliance territory, we're not gonna find Lady Rhea there. I wish we could leave Claude be and go attack the Empire. I suppose if we can't beat the Empire forces here, then we can't get into the Empire lands, can we? I guess that just means it's hard work time, huh, Professor?
Well,
It seems Dimitri has become downright charitable, but I believe he is operating under a serious misapprehension. It may appear as if Claude is appealing to Dimitri for aid, but that is not what is happening here. That's not it either. Claude has asked for reinforcements from here because he knows that I am here. Simply put, he is not throwing himself on Dimitri's mercy, he is throwing himself on mine. I suppose there is nothing else for it, is there? We cannot turn our backs on those in need. Let us...
This experiment...
Hello there. Using the Great Bridge of Murden as a base, we'll spread out and cover as much ground as possible in our search for Her Grace. Judging by the information we've gathered, the most suspicious location is definitely the Imperial capital. The Prim territory, whose leader is a mere puppet, and the Ire territory, whose leader was deposed and disappeared. The Empire has a lot of places with suspicious happenings, and it's certainly worth investigating. But it won't do to take too much time in relieving the Alliance army. Please, hurry.
So House Regan has regained its influence in the Alliance and is gathering forces. Claude always was somewhat inscrutable. It's strange somehow to hear talk of his brilliance as the leader of the Alliance. So House Regan has it's...
The pro-imperialist lords who have let the Empire in have their hands tied. Houses Ordelia and Gloucester are exposed and likely caught off guard. That must mean that Claude's allies are... Geographically, it would be hard for him to commit his forces. Whatever the situation, Claude's military strength is lacking. And what's more, they suffered casualties at Gronder Field. I don't know how long the Alliance forces will be able to hold. Really?
Cornelia Arnhem. That's a familiar name, yes. She once studied in the Empire. My understanding is, shortly after I left the Empire, she did as well. Unlike myself, Cornelia traveled to the kingdom. Apparently, she halted a plague and was rewarded with a quite powerful appointment. That such an outstanding researcher should fall to such depravity. Sickening, Professor, and quite sad.
What do you think?
Speaking of the capital recaptured, I desire to call him Your Majesty rather than Your Highness. He would refuse my desire, rightfully pointing out that he has not as yet been crowned. However, the day this war is ended, the Church has placed the crown upon his head, and he will truly be our king. I must go hear the reports from our spies. There is something worrying me, and no, it can wait. I shall tell you more when our information is more concrete. I have a request.
Oh! You plan to aid Claude, do you not? Huh, I think that is absolutely marvelous. Being opposing forces at the Battle of Gronder was ill-fated. It hurt to side against him. I am happy that things have taken a brighter turn now.
I thought that our next foe, Lord Arundel, was once a pious adherent to the Saros. I thought there was a chance that Cornelia had captured Lady Rhea, but it seems that is not the case. Our next foe, Lord Arundel, was once a pious adherent to the Saros Creed. His contributions to the Church stopped quite abruptly some time ago. I think it is likely the man knows something.
You planned being it hurt?
Remember the Death Knight who stabbed me 5 years ago? Of course you do. How could you forget? Well, it turns out he's a general in the Imperial Army, claiming victories on dozens of battlefields. But It looks like he's not at Deirdre. Like every man in my life, he's run away from me. And he'd better run. One day I'm gonna find that guy and pay him back for what he did to me.
My uncle gave me some of my father's belongings, weapons, books, but there was something else that my old man really wanted to pass down. He wanted me to inherit his mission, ensuring that Dimitri ascends the throne, or so I believe.
We have to help them.
Professor?
Speaking of Deirdre, in Fark, so when the wars no matter what.
Why? Never let him.
I'll try to put this to use.
I gotta ask.
Makes sense to me.
Professor. Thank you.
Come. I think... Here's the...
I still have much to learn.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Thank you. You may leave now. Not really. There's just a problem I must now clean up. Do you know of Aryan Road? It is a fortress that also goes by the name of the Silver Maiden. Yes, I had thought I might have mentioned it before. It is a fortress city that is lauded as the strongest in the kingdom. The land around Aryan Road was once entrusted to Count Rowe. When he turned to the Empire, the Silver Maiden went with him. Now, one after another, the lords of each region are leaving the Empire at the call of the Eastern Lords. But I am sure the Empire has no plans to relinquish the fortress city, given its strategic position on the front lines of their war with the Kingdom. Unless we can take back Aryan Road, the kingdom will continually be attacked at its weakest points. I was thinking that we need to deal with it soon, and that we need to investigate the status of the enemy's force, but I'm afraid so. We confirmed the troops departed the Imperial capital, headed for Aryan Road. If they are followed by a second and third batch of reinforcements, then the difficulty of taking back Aryan Road will increase exponentially. But that does not mean we are entirely without recourse. I am just at a loss as to when the soldiers will arrive. Right away. You never cease to amaze. Your answers always bring me joy. Okay, let's gather everyone immediately. We'll begin the war council for the departing troops.
Seems we are just in time. Any later and Aryan Road may have been lost. Her Majesty was right to send me here.
Hubert. So, you have come here in command of extra troops from the Imperial capital. I had hoped to take the fort while it was poorly defended, but now... Well, there is nothing to be done. We must defeat him, and then take Aryan Road. Traps have been set throughout Aryan Road to repel invaders who make it inside. If I remember correctly, there should be devices somewhere that let you deactivate the traps. Aryan Road has been in Imperial hands for a while now. They may have changed how things work. But there's no point in dawdling. Let's just make a point to disable any devices we come across.
More fighting. Will this ever end?
Shall we?
I'll cut through.
What's the plan?
What's my strategy?
Ready when you are. Next try.
Sorry, but it's you or me.
I'd be honored.
only way.
Without...
I'm your girl.
Leave it to me.
I'll crush them all. Let's clean up. I'll go.
Surprise reinforcements. We must defeat them.
In the name of justice!
Never let your guard down. Could be useful. Uh-uh.
You thought well.
My...
Can't hold me back.
Just be careful. All for our future.
No luck, buddy. All the city's defenses are under my control.
So, the system has been modified. The person operating the traps must be elsewhere.
I aim for greatness.
I suppose you thought defeating the troops outside the castle first would demoralize the ones within. Not such a bad idea, honestly. But you failed to account for me.
Can't afford to slack off.
This is my stage now. Maybe...
Quarian Road is a crucial asset to the Empire. You will not pry from our grasp.
It's win or die.
I'll win this quickly.
Who's next?
Never let your guard down.
Let's do this.
You're done! I'm nobody's fool.
On to the next battle. Another victory.
Can't give up yet.
I must steel myself.
Too slow. I aim for greatness. For now. Only thorns left on this rose.
Is that all?
I'm still here.
Close one. Nice try.
I won't falter.
I'm not quite ready to die.
What's next?
That should take care of the traps.
You took me lightly.
Not finished yet.
I'm still here. I understand.
Too slow.
It is done.
I aim for greatness. Winning is what matters.
I must steel myself.
On to the next round. Only
You haven't earned my pity.
Hubert was defeated? Retreat! Sound the retreat!
The Empire troops are withdrawing. This is it. We failed to get Hubert, but at least we have recaptured Aryan Road. Let's clean up the wreckage and return to Garreg Mach. Well done, everyone. The day is ours. Oh. I think all of this work is just catching up with me. Just pretend that yawn never happened. By the way, I wanted to thank you for your help with the Aryan Road campaign the other day. You were exceptional. Your leadership was key in taking back Aryan Road safely. Indeed, everyone gave their all for victory. I am always being saved by those around me, it seems. It seems that after taking back Aryan Road, many things are changing within the kingdom. Specifically, the lesser lords of the lands surrounding Aryan Road have pledged vassalage to the kingdom. The knights they possess may now be added to the kingdom's army. And if that happens, I would like to leave them in your capable hands. Also, my apologies. Here I am, simply throwing one report after another at you. Perhaps. It is certainly true that I have been stuck in my quarters lately, dealing with more official business and other such tasks than ever before. But that is something I have been putting off for far too long. Though it is exhausting, filling in the blanks of 5 years and several months must be done. I am going to tackle them all, one at a time. That is one small part of my atonement. So, Professor, I have been doing all of the talking, but I assume you came here for a reason. Steal me away? That seems rather unnecessary. A victory celebration, you say? You know, this reminds me of that time I dragged you to the dining hall. Do you recall? If memory serves, that was after the mock battle between the houses. It was a wonderful time. We had just finished our mission, and we were invited to join in the celebration. You know, every once in a while, I do long to be part of the group as well. But do you think that it is really acceptable for someone like me to quietly join in the merriment? You really think so? Well, if you insist. Thank you, Professor. Now then, let's go. Seems simple enough.
I have much expertise now. Professor.
pretty good.
I've really gotten the hang of this.
Professor.
Mission complete.
Hopefully this proves useful.
Seems my practice has paid off.
I still need to improve.
I must always improve.
Having allowed the Imperial Army to invade, the Alliance Army makes their last stand at the center of House Regan territory in Deirdre. The Kingdom Army rushes to their aid after amassing more troops.
The citizens of Deirdre have all been evacuated and are now at sea. Are you sure about this? If Deirdre were to fall, those ships don't have enough resources for...
Deirdre won't fall. Have some faith in me, will you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Our line of defense has been broken. The Imperial Army will be here any moment.
Understood. You two join up with the troops in the city.
Yes, sir.
Judith, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. It's been years since I last battled in the city streets.
Don't go messing up because your vision is weakened with age. Take the defensive for now.
Yeah, I get it. You hang in there too, boy. Your wounds from Gronder Field haven't fully healed yet, have they?
No, but it's not like I can sit this one out. I have to make my daring escape after all. Yet for the last time, stop calling me boy. That's an official order from the leader of the Alliance.
Understood, Leader Man. I wonder if our little ray of hope will show up. We fought on opposite sides of Gronder, didn't we?
They'll come. You can count on it. If anyone can bring him back, it's Teach. Teach will talk and he'll listen. But more than anything, I've seen their skill and their abilities. I believe in them.
Ha!
Reinforcements are coming from the west. Their banner is that of the kingdom.
What did I tell you? They're here, and just in time.
It appears the Imperial Army has already marched into Deirdre and engaged the Alliance. It seems the Imperial advance has been stalled by guerrilla skirmishes. The Alliance forces are holding out, but they won't last much longer.
That must be Judith of House Daphne, who joined up with Claude's troops. To think Judith, a true hero, would find herself backed into a corner like this.
It is not so. The Alliance has only drawn the enemy so deeply into the city to allow us to attack them from behind. Brilliant. I believe so. He put his soldiers into position purely on the belief that we'd come. I can't believe Claude would risk everything on that belief. He has placed all of his hopes on us. Let's make sure. Here we go. Let's move!
The leader of the Alliance has managed to escape to the harbor, has he? Those rats resist in vain.
Your Excellency, there's an army closing in on us from outside. The banners are those of House Blathid.
Blathid? I see. That idiot failed, it seems. Hurry up and kill the leader of the Alliance. With him gone, Deirdre will fall.
I will not let Claude die. Let's hurry to his rescue.
Hey, you're late. Hurry up and help.
I'll cut through.
You thought well.
I'll crush them all.
What's my strategy? This could turn the tides.
Nice form. I'd be honored.
I must steel myself.
What's the plan?
Shall we?
Let's clean up.
I'm your girl.
Leave it to me.
More fighting. Ready when you are.
go. Don't waste it.
The subjugation of Deirdre is complete. We will be joining the main army.
They're showing up one after another. Nothing for it but to blockade the gate leading to the town. I don't want the enemy's numbers to increase anymore.
I'm good now.
It won't be in vain.
Walk.
Fighting wears you out.
It is done. Onward.
You haven't earned my call.
Fighting is what I do.
Winning is what matters.
Let's go.
note, to get to the harbor, first we have to get rid of the enemy mercenaries. But it's no good. We're surrounded. I need to hurry up and rescue the boy. To get to the harbor, first we have to get rid of the enemy mercenaries. There's no other way. Half my time!
Appreciate it.
It was the only way. It was meant to be. Burn until we meet again. Nice.
Thank you. That was a big help. I'll go and cover our leader.
Clever. I can't believe they pushed through to here.
Nothing is more foolish than dying in vain. Let's get to the harbor and finish off the leader of the Alliance.
You're making me work. Sorry, but it's you or me.
I must lead them well. This isn't...
nobody's fool. Going for the kill. Thinning their numbers.
Is that it?
You knew the odds.
Nothing bites so hard as a cornered rat, eh?
Look, the Imperial Army Supply Corps. Attacking now would be a fine plan.
I owe you one.
I was just stronger.
You took me lightly.
Can't afford to lose.
You would raise a weapon against your uncle. You've grown into a savage of a man, just like your father.
You are rather calm for one in your position. Or did you forget that this is a battlefield? Perhaps this is no time for words, Uncle. There will be time.
Saw it coming.
You saved me.
Another victory. Well met.
Do our hopes end here?
I need to know. The incident 9 years ago. You were involved, weren't you? You know something. What did Cornelia... No. What did my stepmother do?
You are not qualified to look into the darkness. You and Edelgard, do your best to kill each other. You are family after all. There it is. The light.
He's dead. There goes our chance to gain more information. And again, even if we had managed to capture him alive, judging by the way he was acting.
Teach is absolutely right. We should take this rare opportunity to let off some tension.
It's been a long time, Claude. I'm glad to see that you are safe.
Same. I haven't seen you since the nightmare that was Gronder. She really did come to help us. You must be a bunch of soft-hearted suckers, huh?
If you really felt that way, you would not have set up a defensive battle in the hopes that we would come. It worked out only because we made it in time. Were you really so confident that we would answer the call?
Of course. I knew you wouldn't hesitate to put yourself second and come running to our aid. You and I are cut from different cloth. I wouldn't make a move unless I could gain something from it. You've always been just the opposite. And of course, I've always been fond of taking dangerous risks. After all, I sent that express messenger before you had even recaptured the kingdom capital. If all went to plan, I knew you'd recapture it soon, and then respond to our request for aid. It was riskier than usual, I'll give you that, but it was the only card I had to play, so I took the gamble.
You crossed too many dangerous bridges for my liking.
I know, but that ends today.
What do you mean?
Here, take this. Use it however you see fit.
Legendary bow, fail not. Isn't this the hero's relic of House Regan? Hold, Claude. This must be one of your jokes. You cannot truly intend to part with this.
It's not a joke. As of today, the Leicester Alliance is no more.
Just what are you planning, Claude?
If you're going to lead Fodlan, then the Alliance Lords will follow you. Back in the day, the Alliance split off from the Kingdom. I'm just putting us back together again. Oh, and I've already gained the support of the other Lords at the Roundtable Conference, so you can stop looking at me like I'm crazy. All that's left for me is to officially step down as the leader of the Alliance. Hold your horses there, Teach. I'm leaving Fodlan. There are things I have to do, dreams I need to see to fruition. That's why I became the Alliance leader to begin with, actually. But it left me no time for what I was really after. You'd better not take on too many responsibilities yourselves, or else you'll end up in the same boat. And remember, both the living and the dead cling to us without any regard for our own lives. It's up to us to break free of that weight and follow the path that we believe in.
Claude.
Oops, I almost forgot the most important thing. If you're looking for Rhea, apparently she's being held captive in the Imperial capital. It doesn't sound like they intend to kill her, but there's no telling what they're planning.
You have my gratitude, Claude.
Gratitude? Thanks, but no thanks. As far as I'm concerned, we're even now. I don't know how many years will pass until then, but
let's promise to meet again. And when we do, don't be too hard on me. You're king minutes.
Well, Dimitri, are you finally going to tell us the damn truth?
What are you talking about?
Didn't Lord Arundel say something about you and Edelgard being family?
To claim that the king and the emperor are related. Could it be?
Ah, I suppose I never told you, though I do recall mentioning it briefly to the professor. Lord Arundel spoke the truth. My stepmother was Edelgard's birth mother. Political turmoil drove my stepmother out of the Empire. Father fell in love with her at first sight, and they married. I lost my birth mother before I was old enough to remember her. My stepmother filled that role for me. But she lost her life in Dusker 9 years ago, along with Father.
Hang on. I didn't even know she was your stepmother. Did my father know about this?
Yes, all those who were close to my father knew, including Rodrigue. But to speak openly about it would have caused a scandal, and so she was our secret. No one in the general public knew about her. Naturally, the fact that Edelgard and I are step-siblings was kept a secret as well.
I'm finally beginning to understand what you went through 5 years ago. I mean, Edelgard is the only family you have left, isn't she? To find out someone so precious to you is actually your most hated enemy. How heartbreaking.
But wait, you two were born and raised in 2 different territories, right? So you probably never met until you were both at the academy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the idea of fighting family is just about the worst thing ever. But hopefully the fact that she's a stepsister who you never really knew helps with the pain?
I'm afraid that's not the case. Though it was only for a short time, Edelgard once called Ferdiad home. It was a long time ago, but she was a cherished friend of mine.
Wait, I remember now. She was that girl, wasn't she? The one you gave a dagger to. So, your little girlfriend was Edelgard.
Sylvain, if you have any more foolish things to say, please hold them for later.
I do have a few more in my sleeve, but they can wait. Go on, Your Highness. This is important for us to hear.
She may be a hated enemy now, but the Emperor is your old friend and your stepsister. Can you bring yourself to kill her?
I will kill her, if I must. But if there is any chance that the world she seeks to create could be a just one, then I would love to see a future in which I may reach out my hand for her and have her reach back. That said, I have no intention of letting my personal feelings cloud my judgment. Too much is at stake.
Your Highness, I think you should meet with the Emperor and at least try to talk to her. If there's any hope of ending this war without more bloodshed, we have to try. Besides, killing your own family, I'm sorry, but it's not right.
I think so too. And you are right that we should at least try.
I see. So my uncle's defeat is beyond doubt?
Yes, Your Majesty. I have confirmed it via countless channels. I advise that we accept this as a drop of joy amid a pool of sorrow.
Pretty words, but I'm afraid we can't rest until the joy outweighs the sorrow. And for that to happen, it now seems we must confront them all at once. Dimitri, who took back Ferdiad, Claude, who managed to protect the Alliance, and that professor, who is successfully mobilizing the Knights of Ceros.
What will you do, Your Majesty?
Pull back our forces. In the west to Arianland. In the east to...
Fort Mercius, I presume. There is no better place for such a confrontation, after all.
Indeed. And dispatch the Death Knight to guard it. He can buy us some time. In the meantime, I will...
Forgive me, but I must speak bluntly. I do not agree with what you intend to do.
Even I cannot always choose the direction my path leads me. There is no other way. And so, I must walk on.
Part 2. Azure Moon. Blue Sea Moon. The Impregnable Fortress. When Claude steps down as its leader, the Leicester Alliance disbands, and its lords swear fealty to the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. The chaos in the kingdom begins to dissipate as the people unite under Dimitri's rule. Riding this momentum, the Kingdom army prepares to march south for a decisive battle against Imperial forces.